All right, so we just looked at the tables, the graphs of operations of functions, and now we're going to look at the composition ones. So here, go ahead and pause the video. You're going to write down the graph, but then there's an A, a B, and a C here. So let me pull up the C also. So yeah, you guys can see there's the A, a B, and a C. So we're going to work on all of three of these, and then we're going to be done with graphing. All right, so go ahead and do this. All right, so now we have our graph, made it again bigger so that everybody can see it. So here we're going to deal with what we've kind of talked about already when it came to the composite functions evaluating. So we're going to deal with our inside portion first. Always deal with that part. And then we're going to go ahead and deal with the outside portion. So here you have the inside, you have the outside. So we're going to deal with the inside. So that's G of 2. So just like we did on the last video, we say when x equals 2, what is your y value? So we're looking at the g of x function. So that's the blue one. So g of x here, that's your blue function here. So when x equals 2, so 1, 2, your y value is 0. So g of 2 equals 0. So again, when x equals 2 for the g of x function, the blue one, so go for 1, 2, your y value is 0. All right, so then we go to our f of x. So now that we know g of x is equal to 2, we're technically now looking at, g of 2 equals 0, Now we're looking at substituting this in, substituting 0. So g of x here. So now we're substituting that 0 back in there. All right, so now we need to find when x equals 0, what is your y value? So again, when x equals 0, what is your y value? For the f of x function. So this the red one's our f of x function here, a purple one, So that's your f of x function. So here, when x equals 0, and you look down at your purple function, so we come down until we get to the number. That's this part right here. And your y value is -3. So -3. So here, again, when x equals 0, y goes 1, 2, 3. So -3 right there. That's your y value. All right, so with that being said, we know that the whole thing is going to just equal -3. So just like I said on the last video, make sure you write it out. Bam. All right, so same way. That's what we're going to do for each one of these. We're going to start off with what's on the inside first. Find that. So start off with what's on the inside. All right, again, when x equals -1, your y equals what? That's what we're trying to find. So this time again, we're looking at, I did kind of the backwards with colors, but it's okay. So f of 1, -1. So when x equals -1 for the f of x function, your y value is 0. All right, so when it comes up here, looking at a g of x function, f of x was this. I'm sorry, let's go and put that right here too. And so here we're using the 0 to go inside the parentheses. So g of 0, so when x equals 0, what is your y value? That's what we're trying to find. So here for the g of x function, the blue one, g of x. So when x equals 0, it goes down 1, 2. So that is -2. So again, for the first part, when x equals -1, where's your f of x function? That's at 0. And so now we use 0, and we look at the g of x function. And it goes down to -2. All right, so here. Bam. All right, and then there is the c. And again, we deal with what's on the inside first. So g of 0. So again, when x equals 0, what is your y value? All right, so here when x equals 0, and we're looking again at the g function, the blue function here, x equals 0, while y is -2. So that's what we just talked about. Okay, so again, with this portion, we know g of 0 equals -2, so we're putting -2 in that spot. And so again, when x equals -2, what is your y value? And this time is again for the f of x function. So again, f of x function is this one right here. So when x equals -2, so 1, 2, your y value is right there at 5. And the biggest part about this is making sure that you focus on the right graph for the right function that we're dealing with, or the right portion that we're dealing with here. So if they say the f of x portion here, or g of x portion, make sure you go ahead and look at the correct graph to match up. Whatever's the f of x function, you look at that function. Whatever the g of x function is, you look at that function. So the graph must match up with the function that you're looking for. All right, and there we go. And so with this part, again, don't overthink it, but you must focus on whatever graph they're looking for. So if they're looking for the g of x function, make sure you focus on that g of x function. If they're looking for the f of x function, you only focus on that f of x function. They give you the x value, you must find the y.